Oh, I don't have music. Oh. And we are live.
Amazing.
I should probably turn the game music on or something. I don't know.
You're like, I'm much louder than you in the.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
How about now? I just turned up the gain a little bit on my mic.
Okay, let me listen. I'm still louder than you.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Ripperoni.
I might be too loud. I might be.
Let me turn down you then. Well, you're like 100%.
All right. Okay. It's really hard.
Okay, I put you at
It's hard to
50.
listen. 50. Okay. Yeah, that sounds better.
Oh, for real? Let me put the mic closer to my face, I guess. But it like obstructs my view of the screen a little bit.
You're still very quiet.
Jeez.
You did sound like I said when I joined you on Discord. You sounded really quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Did you change things on your mic?
No. Let me look at my mic settings.
And hello, Lenny? Axion 3?
Okay, how about now?
Oh, you sound louder, but let me listen on the stream.
Am I louder than you now? Hey, Leonie. And hey, Nestor.
You did sound better, but 1 second.
We're just testing the audio right now. Testing. Crumbs is just checking if I'm louder than him or he's louder than me.
Back.
Hello? Yo.
Hello.
How was the music and how was your voice?
Music's quite good, but I feel like your voice is too gainy now.
Oh, shit.
Although it sounds better on YouTube than on.
How about now, though?
It's really hard to really think who's talking.
Oh.
How everyone in the chat? How is the volume? My volume compared to Yuto's and compared to the music? Please let Yuto know.
Yeah.
So he can do something.
I might turn my microphone down a little bit, maybe 95% on the Windows setting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That should help with the peaking. Hey Julius and Assam, welcome to the stream.
I'll turn you down in Discord. Julius says all good, but anyone else have any feelings about the volume?
I think I turned the music up to 60%. Okay. Hello, thank you for your comment. I'm glad that you like the series. Sorry that I don't know how to say your name in Korean. So, hey David, welcome to the stream. And Simil. Maybe the music a little lower, or yeah, I'll put it at 50% then. Yeah, today I'm going to be detailing, as you can see I'm in the map editor, so I'm going to be detailing the area around the space elevator, just the islands themselves. I'm not doing any actual building. And as you could tell from the title, it says Astergean, or Astergean if you want to say it in English, space elevator. And this is actually not on the same map as Astergean, so this is an entirely new map. We decided... This is also a collaboration between Crumbs McGee and I in making the space elevator, and we decided to make the space elevator a separate island of its own from Astergean. And not only because of the technical aspects of it, like, you know, Astergean is super laggy. It's like 10 FPS, 8 FPS. So starting a whole new map would definitely make the experience much better in building it. So I guess you could say this is kind of like a mini series of Astergean, because it'll be on its own map. But aside from that, we decided to put it in the middle of the ocean, the space elevator, and we have there are some pros and cons to it. You know, like having, like, one of the cons to having it in the middle of the ocean is, like, you know, with tsunamis and storms and things like that. But we try to, like, add these artificial barrier islands, which I tried to make it look very natural looking, to protect the space elevator. And then we also put it in the middle of the ocean because, like, if the space cable ever, like, snaps or anything and things are crashing down, then it's better to have it crash in water than, you know, on solid ground. And this is actually not that far from Asteria, like, story-wise. Like, just say, like, Asteria is maybe like 50 miles off or 100 miles off in this direction right here. As you can see, the direction of the shipping channels here that I've carved out here. There's also another shipping channel here that goes southward. Yeah, and these, I put, like, a lot of just small islands around the main island, just to help protect it. But these are just all natural islands, so, like, in the process of creating this artificial island, we could say that the Astergeans dredge these shipping channels and use the sediment to help build the foundation of the space island, or the space elevator island here. Once, like, we're in the map editor right now, so once we start jumping into the actual game, like just playing it, we're going to add, like, some defensive barriers and other things around that, but we'll get to more of that once the episode actually comes around. We're still planning a lot of things for this episode, so there's also, like, a lot of things that are not set in stone. Like, we don't really know where this thing is going to be or what are the challenges going to face. We have to, like, really think this all out. Like, some of these barrier islands might even change a little bit. This is actually the second draft. The first draft was much more larger and it was, like, way impractical. But yeah, this is what we have so far. And I've also tested the island against some disasters. I don't have the disasters DLC, but Crumbs does. But he's working on his own build right now. Oh, what was that? I think someone. Oh, thank you for the subscribe, Talal. Like, look in the Streamlabs thing. Like, I put basically these barrier islands. I put them the way they look is have the barrier islands in the front, and then behind it are like the salt marshes, and this helps with holding the water back. You know, basically a wetland, and helping with drainage. And I didn't want him to make it like too artificial looking. You know, you just have like a wall of dirt surrounding the island. I wanted to make a barrier island that would fit like Astergean's theme of, you know, just using the environment, working with the environment rather than against it. So they built this whole natural habitat around the space elevator to not only protect the island but also serve as, like, you know, breeding grounds for birds and things like that, migratory birds, animals, turtles, and stuff. But we definitely have all these natural systems that a would have. Like, you have these meandering rivers that would not go in a straight line. So if a wave were to come in from the ocean, the wave would have to like go through this meandering river, and it would lose a lot of its energy going that way. I mean, we could test it right now. So Crumbs Biggie told me that the best way to test it is just raise the land really high up and then just drop it.
Yep, exactly.
Okay. So there it goes. Wait for the water to climb to the top of this, and let's see how it works with this. The barrier islands still
Julius asked you a question.
Main language I've asked you, yeah. I don't really know yet. I still building the lore, I guess you could say. I mean, for now, I guess we could say it's English. Probably a different type of English than what we have today. Language always changes, so. So now the water has reached the top, and then I'll just put the land back down, and then we'll see how this will go. Or islands weakening the wave. It was like yep. You don't really see the wave like when you're like on the shore. I mean, I guess that's how a tsunami would be. You don't really see the wave until it like comes really close, and then the beaches become drier, right? Like the water just gets sucked out.
I think that's the sign that there's a tsunami, when the sea recedes.
I think that happens in the game, does it? I don't have the disasters DLC, and I don't know if the water physics are that
No,
advanced.
that doesn't really happen like that, no.
It just makes... Wow. I think the wave just weakened really... Like... Mangrove Islands, like, really broke up the wave. I don't even see the waves coming. It didn't even go over the top. So I guess that's good news. But I think maybe you should test it when I give you the map.
Yeah, I will test it and see what it is like.
I could probably test it on like several different areas at the same time, maybe. It's like a... Alright, there goes the water climbing. space elevator is on a separate map. Because there's not enough space in the Astergean map, and plus we wanted to be a little bit further away from Astergean in the middle of the ocean.
And lag.
Because Astergean gets like at FPS, and from the space elevator contributing to the city would be really bad. It was the wave. Islands weakening the wave, but they're obviously getting flooded. You can see a little here. Goes spilling into the mouth of the river, and it did manage to go over this seawall a little bit, I guess you could say, on the barrier island. Water is deposited in this type of wetland area, so not that much happened. So it seems to be working pretty well. Have the water over here sloshing around in this meandering river.
Yeah, that looked like it worked. You know what it was meant to do.
The other things that were like disasters eyes, we can't really test in the game. Like you can't really test an earthquake in the game, so we just have to like, you know, be imaginative, just pretend. Stuff that would probably work with an earthquake. Storms, like high wind storms and stuff. Get to detailing now. Earlier today with like just opening the task, or not the taskbar, the menu with like trees and stuff, and I was having huge lag. We reset the water level. There we go.
The Korean guy said about he thinks that he loves how you detail your city, but it needs to be a bit more simple for your FPS. I mean, you did
yeah, recently
go around doing stuff, didn't you?
Recently, like over like a month ago, basically went back to Asteria and like deleted a whole bunch of props, and that increased my FPS a little bit, and also increased the simulation speed, because the simulation speed was like really slow, even at 3 times speed. But then I went back and just removed a ton of props. The FPS a lot. Land could be more. What do you mean by that? Like more expansive or more higher, or?
I think he means the island itself could be bigger.
Oh.
But it actually is. There is no scale here. This is quite big. How big is one tile? Again, in game, 2 kilometers. Is that right? I don't know. Someone would know.
It's like in SimCity.
Hello.
Hello.
How big is it?
I
Thank
think
you.
a tile is like 1 tile in City Skylines.
The same as in SimCity 5, and I think it's 2 kilometers. Yes.
Okay. Pretty big, right?
I mean, that's pretty big, right?
Not
How
for
big are
a whole
our
city.
And also, Pedro said about Ace Combat 7 intensifies, and
Oh, yeah.
that was one of the inspirations for the build.
Because we were looking at like various types of space elevators that the fictional world has produced, and we see some stuff like and Ace Combat and a few other things, and they all had like their own unique designs and stuff. But we also try to look at it in a more realistic way, like the one from Halo is way too big and just like, how would you describe what was there were like rings around the tether for some reason. I guess it was there to secure it, but I don't know, that might create a lot of drag with wind resistance. And the Ace Combat one, the tower, it might be too big. I'm not sure.
The Bible one.
Which one?
Babel.
Babylon.
Babylon. Yeah.
The Tower of Babylon.
Yeah, someone suggested it.
That was quite short though. Right?
Yeah.
It wasn't even. I don't even know how big it was meant to be, but it's not. It wasn't that big.
Is it even real?
I don't even know if it was real. But obviously they would have had They did have a size that they said in, but I don't know if it's real. Does anyone know it's real? Probably someone knows. Probably an historian.
It's mentioned in the Bible.
Yeah, but a lot of things are mentioned in the Bible. Also, someone said, what was it? Who said it? Eger Enter. That's a really weird name. He said, "Where is it going to be located?" Now that's another question. Not really sure.
Sure. We have some potential candidates, but
you could say them, and then people can, judge them.
Yeah.
Do you want to say them or?
Yeah. One location was like near the Galapagos Islands. Close to there, Ecuador, because it would serve right that the space elevator should be at the equator. So still not sure.
So if anyone else has any ideas for good locations for space elevators, yeah, let us know.
Issue with that location is the earthquakes, because it is next to the fault line, so
About the Babylon Tower and
planting the wrong trees.
Maybe there's people. I mean, I don't really know about the archaeological thing that they found about it.
Yeah.
I mean, but maybe there is.
This music is pretty dark.
Are you going to say the name that because you two actually thought of a name for the island?
Oh, the name of the island? That's still in the works, but so far what I have is Lynn. I might change my mind, but that's the name that I've came up with so far. If I were to say it correctly in Norse, I guess it would be called Bifrost or something like that.
You should have built it in Kenya as a Halo reference. Is it in Kenya in Halo?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I didn't know it was in Kenya itself, but I remember that the Halo space elevator was like in Africa. Was discovered somewhere around there, I think. I haven't played Halo 3 actually, because I didn't have a, because that was when the Xbox 360 came out and I didn't have money. I didn't want to buy it anyways, because that's when I became a PC gamer.
PC Master Race.
Always putting on their consoles.
I would suggest Tower Name Tower. Yes, great name.
The Great Big Tower.
Or Caption Cook Island. I'm not sure why it would be cool. I think you mean Wait, is it Captain? Yeah, well, I think you mean Captain Cook Island. But is there an Orlean? Is there an Orlean island called Cook Island? But why would it be called that? I mean, it doesn't. He didn't. He was an explorer, but it's nothing to do with space, I suppose. But what about Cryon? How's that said?
Halcyon Islands?
Halcyon Island. What does that mean?
No idea. I mean, I've seen that word before, but I don't know what it means.
Halcyon Island. Let me Google it.
Thanks, no song. Grislanzil. That or something?
Halcyon. Google says it's. Wait. It's a bird. It can also be a building. Refers to. It's in Greek mythology.
Should I really put grass? That would like hurt my frames, won't it? Mountain grass or
Probably, but you can always do it without grass, save it, then place grass. Then if it's too laggy, revert to the previous save.
okay.
You could do that.
Or
Just
delete
to
all
see.
of the props.
I mean,
Yeah,
I have,
is it actually a prop? Is it the grass?
yeah.
We'll
We'll
says
do that
on
then.
the
Just
map.
place it and then just delete props.
So 50,000 is the game limit, right? Or is that the editor limit? Because I don't know.
I don't know.
I think it's the editor limit.
I don't think you're gonna place
All-
50,000 props down.
CL, okay. User props, yeah, 50,000 is the game default. Like it's a lot of grass.
Name it. Looks like a German word. Grindlandgiel.
Yeah, that's what I
don't-
named it. Commander Beck. That's the name that it currently holds right now.
Yeah, because it's connecting. I mean, it's not two worlds, but it's connecting
Bifrost
space
or
with
Norse would be Bifrost or something.
Bifrost. It sounds like you're saying it in like a Jamaican accent. The Bifrost, man. It is the Bifrost.
It's like in Thor, yeah?
What?
Like Thor, the movie.
Yeah. Well, it's Norse
Okay.
mythology.
Yeah, I know.
So it's the Bifrost connected to the five worlds, is it?
Something like that.
Yeah, the Thor story is based on it, so
But yeah, it's based
the
on
Well,
characters and all of the stuff.
I've
Norse
also thought about using a Jewish word. And I forgot what it was called though, but
Chibur.
keyboard, yeah. Connection or something.
Yeah. I mean, for an island, I don't really think it sounds good. Yeah, there's better names in Hebrew.
Grass, I don't know.
The most logical is tower name space elevator. Yeah, but that's not a good name.
Tower name underscore.
Space Elevator Island.
I guess.
I mean,
yeah,
this-
I'll just
the-
put
the-
grass down. See what happens.
The Minecraft meme says, "Why would Americans do something Norse?" Astergean is an American, is it? As far as I'm aware, it's a amalgamation of all the world's cultures, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not American. It is an amalgamation of everything, all inclusive. You know.
Much.
Someone suggested Eden, but I don't know if that really would fit what it is, because it's not like he
Eden's
says
more
it's
of like
meant to be. Yeah, like it's an its ideal place, and this is a transport. But It's a transport.
It's just a transport island. Or I mean, like the space elevator is just a transport island, not really. I mean, could be an ideal place to somebody, but it's transportation. Space and Earth.
Have you actually thought of an idea for the tower?
Would like look like?
No, the name, like the actual space elevator tower. Like give it a name.
Like the actual space elevator, I thought of using a Chinese. I forget what it's called, but I'll look into it later.
I can give you some names if you want.
Mike, I don't know. Maybe should we give several names to this? Because like we would have the Earth station, and then we have the space station, like with the anchor there. I don't know. Should we say?
Yeah, that would be given a name.
It's like, hey, where are you going? I'm going to blah blah blah.
Yeah, that would be.
I guess you could name it as like stations, like terminals or whatever.
What's the name of that? The Expanse has some good names for stations.
You
What
can
is that?
name
Is
it
that a
after
movie? I
someone.
never watched it.
This is how normally it's happen. You can name it after somebody, like imported scientist or anything like that.
Maybe.
That's not a bad idea. Or because it would be a captured asteroid, you could find what asteroid they would like. It's closest. That would be the right weight, and then that would be what it was. It would be called the asteroid's name, and then that would be its name, station or whatever.
That's true.
You made me want to open City Skylines.
Forever. I'm already at 116 props. Hopefully I don't fill up, because we gotta save like at least half of those for like the space elevator itself.
No, you'll have enough props.
For space elevator, I think you have enough, and you can use residual object. So
Yeah,
I'll
that's
say
the plan.
Yeah. Let's make everything so much better.
So I'm only putting the grass like on the edge of the basically the shore or whatever. Where I thought I have the music radio thing. Like I don't really like.
It probably doesn't work in the editor.
Radio's channels cannot be streamed. Wait, what? Not be used when streaming. Really? Dang, the game actually knows I'm streaming.
They probably are copyrighted.
How City Skylines changes its music when you like pause it. So right now it's like very cosmic voidish type of music. It's like I'm in the darkness because the game is paused right now. So creepy. I just have it running. I don't know.
But yeah, no one really suggested a place for the space elevator. If anyone has any good places, it's got to be near the equator because that would be the most economical and put the least stress on the cable for it to be at the equator. It's just got to be near the equator, near quite a high land because the sea is
Yeah, in this time
it's
period,
higher.
the sea level is way higher than what it is now.
You could put few of these, like make not only one of these, like put few space elevator around the world.
A few.
Yeah, like imagine like you can go to the
Yeah.
one in America, one in Asia, one in Europe.
I seen the space elevator idea like that, where the tether, it would have more than one tether. Because if you were to put a space elevator over in New York, very well, but if you secure it down with another tether from, like, say, like in um, Chile or something, it would become more stable. I thought about that, but
And that would be that would like double the work for this already massive project.
3 years time period, this like would take like maybe 100 years or something. Like, just done with automation. I'm at 259 props now, and all those props are grass.
Nice.
Ooh.
Average says, wouldn't Astergean have taken measures to lower the sea level to a more natural level? The thing is, what is a natural level? The sea levels always change, and have always changed over time. This is just in a time period where the sea level is higher,
Yeah.
basically, because of other extreme. And what's the word? Like, just things happened, and the sea levels have risen because I guess the climate is warmer. Like what was it, the Cambrian explosion, when the temperatures were so hot that there was barely any ice at all. I think there was none.
I'm not sure.
I think
There's like a ton of warming periods. Um, I don't know which one was like the hottest. Like,
also I don't
water was the highest.
know
like-
if that.
Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say I don't know if it's on their like Astrogear's agenda to lower the sea level, because this is how the Earth has changed as they've come back. So they want to keep it more natural. They want to affect the the Earth as previous generations have done. That's the idea, right?
That's pretty much what I do. And also, like the sea level rise. I mean, the sea level going back down is typically due to like freezing. Freeze the North Pole. or
Freeze
something.
salt water. That would, yes, be a lot.
So the of Asteroid is just like making an environment that works with nature, basically, against it. Something that's very adaptable. Right. So I put some palms down. What trees should I use? Like, should I just put bushes? Not really like a deciduous trees? Is that how you say it?
Sure, but like low bushes there might be a good idea. Maybe a couple big trees scattered here and there to hold the soil down.
I guess I'll use the generic trees because, like, poly, right? Is that the one with the low poly?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
I think they've got semi-low poly. I don't know how low. Padelmos are also very low poly. I can't remember if Lost Gecko said they were good or if they were okay for back then. Like, because he made them so long ago.
Use the vanilla.
No, don't use vanilla.
Oh, no vanilla.
They're worse than like so many trees.
I mean, the
They
new
have such high
vanillas are
prop
not
counts.
that bad, but I still wouldn't use it.
They have really high tries. So they're not even
Crazy.
good for.
Like, they look bad, but they
Yeah.
still have high try.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna put some rocks down, I guess. Be careful not putting too many rocks.
any volcanic landscapes since, of the course of several hundred years, one would assume volcanoes would create new clusters of islands. Yeah, they could. This could be a... Well, if it was close to a plate boundary, but not right on the plate boundary, it could be... This could be on a volcanic, like,
Mangrove trees, like right here.
pillar, I suppose? Not pillar, but, a volcanic... An extinct volcano. If you know? That's what someone said about.
Wait, what? Sorry.
That it could be on a volcano, like a... Because obviously as the
Volcano?
Earth's crust moves, they create, it creates
Like dead
volcanoes. Yeah. But I don't know how far... Also, I did say someone said about how far this is in the future. He said roughly.
About 3,000 years-ish.
I don't know how far the crust will have moved in that time.
Probably just like a few miles, maybe.
I don't know about that. That
'Cause,
sounds
like-
like way underestimation.
5 miles or something like that. 3 miles. Because, I don't know, I saw like a video earlier where they talked about the supervolcano in Yellowstone. That volcano is actually moving around. I forgot when it last erupted, but either like 100,000 years ago or 7,000 years ago, the center of Yellowstone was like in Nevada or so, or in like that. Went up into Wyoming or something. I forgot. Big distance. And left a trail of like dead volcanoes.
I believe Yellowstone is overdue for an eruption. Which is going to be bad for America and the world in general if Yellowstone does erupt. Because it is a super volcano.
Yeah, but I also saw, in that same video they said like eruption was big, but it wasn't big enough to like, create a huge mass extinction. Because it's a super volcano.
Well, it would definitely just be like hazardous to life in general and our way of life, more so. Like, do you remember what was it in Iceland, the volcano that erupted and it closed down Europe's airspace? Was that 2 years ago?
Oh, I remember that. Maybe.
So just imagine that on like a much bigger scale over America, and it probably would spread to most of the world. Like just having this volcanic dust in the air.
They said the last eruption was like the size, like pretty much most of the United States was covered in ash. So, but like the actual plume, I don't know how high it went. Yeah, picked up and.
Yeah, I would assume it would go into the stratosphere. Like just the bit between that.
Yeah.
Also, it would cool down the Earth. So there's that for a couple of years, which would probably be a bad thing. Which will probably cause famine and failure of crops. So there's something to worry about for the future. Let me look at the comments, 'cause I was trying to look at how far it moves.
Mangroves. Put rocks. Mainly because it's like, if you put one rock down, it doesn't look good, so you have to put like tons of them.
Yeah, so I would maybe not. I don't know. It depends. What rocks do you have?
Some of the river rocks made by Ronix, and like some big rocks from like, vanilla, and
Yeah.
I think I forgot who made them, but just like the medium-sized, big-sized rocks.
The tectonic plates move 5 centimeters a year on average. So 105 kilometers. Someone said, but then this person says 105 meters. That seems like an underestimation for 3k years. Oh, okay. Well, he meant 150 meters. Really, it's only that far? It feels like it would be further, but I haven't done the math, so I don't know. Can we release pressure from Yellowstone? I believe I did watch a documentary where they do drill into Yellowstone occasionally to measure things, and there is an idea that it could release pressure, but they don't want to do it because it could also
Sounds dangerous.
set it off. Yeah, they don't want to set it off prematurely. So, because they're not really sure what drilling into a volcano like that would do. Like, obviously it would release pressure, but would it then release too much pressure? Yeah, 105 meters. Okay, that seems really low, but okay. So the continents to move. I suppose 3k years isn't that, like 3,000 years isn't actually that much if you think about it.
Distance-wise?
Yeah, the continents would have moved 105 meters in the direction so they move.
Interesting.
So not really enough for like anything new to have been made. It's not really that much distance.
Yeah.
Time, what am I talking about?
I hate working with the water physics in this game.
They are bad.
Did I put music? I don't know. Probably run into copyright stuff.
Dumb question, maybe. But what is this island meant to be?
This island right here? Oh, this
I'm
is supposed to be
pretty sure.
one of the barrier islands to protect the space elevator. Yeah, pretty much. It's artificial, but like natural, to help protect the space elevator. Some wetlands here to help with flood draining and stuff, and then the meandering river to break wave power in case, you know, there's and tsunamis and things like that. Of course, you have like a ton of like mangroves here, which are actually really good in protecting against storm surges and stuff. Kind of like a tetrapod, but a pod.
Commander Black says, by the way, what language do you guys speak? I guess he means
Like native language?
Yeah, I guess so.
My native language is English.
Same. And Simulation Gurus is what do they
English or Hebrew?
I guess it would be Hebrew. But I don't think he's here at the moment.
It's dark music. More mangroves.
Will you put a video of this live? This will be a video. There will be several, I believe, sometime in the future.
Is he talking about the stream? Like, it'll be saved on my account, but...
Yeah, the stream will also be live, but also there will be videos on this in the style of, the other videos.
Normal episode, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what.
We're expecting to make several videos. Because can't really build a space simulator in just one episode, so. Make an episode where I'm like making the environment itself. I don't know. Some people might enjoy it, some people will find it boring.
You can always tell them to watch the stream.
Yeah, true.
You could watch the stream and they'd see.
I like these mangroves, like this type of mangrove, because like in the game it like plants the trees like in a dense pattern rather than kind of spread out. Like some trees you place down and like they're kind of like far apart, but like some trees like they plant like in a dense pattern, like palm trees. Maybe it's the footprint size of the tree or something.
It's probably the footprint size, yeah, of the tree. Because I'm guessing they use a I've never made a tree asset or any asset for that matter, but I'm guessing they use a default sort of thing, and obviously different trees would have different sizes between them. So they probably used a really small tree. Is it Mr. Mason's? Is that one Mr. Mason's?
Which one? The
mangrove. It says on the little Steam icon. No?
Steam icon.
Next to the tree
Oh,
itself.
yeah, I never knew that. Mason.
There you go. The more you know.
I never knew that.
What?
What? Surge and the what is the status of religion in Astergean?
Oh.
I think it might be a combination of like the past and new religions, because there's a chance that new religions would arise, and just cling on to old religions. I don't know. How many believers there are? I would say that there's still like religion around. Could be new religions, more nature-based religions maybe. I don't know, but still around.
If I was to guess about real life religions, this isn't about Astergean, but I would feel that the religions that would stay around would be more like spiritual in essence, I guess.
More spiritual and less, I guess you could say, God-based, maybe.
Well, I don't know even but like less. Oh, what's the name for it? Where it's like obviously, say the Catholic Church is an organization, so it would be less an organized religion, more
decentralized religion.
It's what people want. I mean that, and also obviously there are going to be less people who believe in religion.
Yeah.
Because that's how it seems like it's going currently.
Yeah, even now, pretty much.
So I don't know. It's probably going to be a mix. It could be in the future. There's no religion. There could be even more religion. There could be a mix of the between. It's just how the society deals with it, I guess, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. Have you seen the movie Sunshine? It's like independent.
Sunshine.
It's like a space crew to restart the sun or something like that.
Oh, I think I might have, yes.
Oh, because they did have like an interesting point in there where like, well, I'm not going to spoil it, I guess you could say, but like one of the characters was spent so much time in space that he became, I guess you could say, very spiritual. Like he was, like he saw the sun as kind of like God, because he was stuck out in space for so long. So I thought that was interesting, because Astergean is founded by like adrift in space for like 3,000 years. Who knows what could have happened out in space. Hard to really tell the course of religion. Such a long, expansive time, especially in a more non-traditional sense, because, you know, you just have these humans drifting in space, and then decided to come back to Earth to start over. What do you think of that?
Oh, command. Oh, sorry. Yes, I agree with that.
Oh,
Commander Black says I meant every language you can speak. Sorry, that's what he meant. Well, it's easy for me. I can speak English. And I can speak tiny amounts of French.
wait, who said
Like I could say hello and order like probably some cheese and fish from a restaurant. And what about you, Yuto? How many languages?
that? How many languages I speak?
Yeah.
I just speak English and then some Japanese. I'm still learning the language. I wouldn't really say I speak it. Beginner, intermediate level. Like, I'm definitely not beginner. Like, I know like a lot of words, but know enough grammar to like sustain like an advanced conversation or something like that. And have I ever been to Sendai, Tamer? No, I haven't. I should just remove the grass.
Is it? Oh, does it not look good?
When I put it in my head like I'm going to multiply it on all these islands, I don't know. I guess I'll just see for the moment.
Yeah, just keep watching the FPS and just check it.
It's a game.
Open City Skylines. I wanted to play, I wanted to talk, and then the game restarted.
Restarted?
Yeah,
I've seen that before.
I clicked
Crashed,
on
but not restarted.
F4.
You clicked Alt F4. Did you just say?
F4 is restarting the game.
Oh yeah, there is a button to restart. It just it reloads previous save, I believe.
So now I don't have a motivation to open the game again.
Are you still studying for those exams or whatever for like the enlistment or something? Enlistment?
No. Wait, I'm just trying to reset and you push the button. But actually, I did something called psychometry, and it's like you need to do it before you go to the university. So it's part of the. It says like if you can go to learn in the university or not, and where you can learn in the university. It's really, really head-breaking exam. Like it's really hard.
That you're going to go to Florida or something? Currently, there's a tropical storm in the area, so
So the perfect time to go.
yeah.
I remember when I went, there was a storm. The week before I got to Florida, and then the week after I left, there was a storm again.
The
So I didn't really think about it because I went in September, which apparently is that like when there's a lot of storms. Yeah,
there's like a lot of storms around September.
Yeah, it wasn't a good idea, but it worked out well. I didn't get caught in one storm the whole trip for the entirety of America.
At 459 now. Just grass. that's it.
It's a bit of a random question. Someone says, "What's your favorite Pokemon?"
My favorite Pokemon? I like psychic type of Pokemon, so legendary wise, I would say wait, is it just one Pokemon or can I say name two?
It just says, "What's your favorite Pokemon?"
Assuming that's just one.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I'm kind of torn between Ho-Oh and Lugia, but I would probably say Ho-Oh, even though I like Lugia because it's psychic.
Pikachu.
I don't even know what those Pokemon are.
Really?
Yeah, same.
Ho-Ho,
Ho-Oh.
Pokemon, Hopo,
No, Ho-Oh.
Hopa. How do you spell that?
Hoopa. H-O-O-H.
H-O-O-H. Oh, okay. And the other one?
Lugia is L-U-G-I-A. Legendary,
Oh, that one. Yeah, I know
that's,
that one.
that's kind of hard to think about what's Pokemon, you know, like I just start like, you know, every time I start up a Pokemon game, I just think of like what's going to be in my team. I don't really think of like, oh, I gotta have this in all my parties or whatever.
I only really know the first generation Pokemon. That's all I really know.
I only know the first two. Yeah.
It's the one I played when I was a kid.
You didn't play the second generation? Crystal, Gold, Silver?
I played Yellow. That's what I played on my Game Boy. Oh, advanced stuff that was.
Dang. Remember those days where everybody's like playing on like whenever the new Game Boy would come out, people would show off like their what's it called, Game Boy SP or something like that. And
Yeah.
everybody was like flaunt, like just like look how small this is. I can fit this in my pocket because you can like fold it. This is pretty big. It still can fit in your pocket. It's just big. People were like excited over the light feature that the SP had. You know how like
backlight.
Yeah, backlight.
Yeah, because it was still hard.
I had that too, I think.
I don't know. I remember it was very hard to see.
Oh,
I don't remember. I didn't have a Game Boy Advance.
you did.
I had a color, Game Boy Color.
Yeah, same here. I didn't have a Game Boy Advance. And then eventually my friend gave me his SP. I got a DS. And DS, the ones that still could play advanced games. They can't play the color games.
Mm-hmm. Those were the days.
Okay, so
Not
how
really.
much grass do I have? I have 611 grass. Once. This. I'm estimating about 2,000 props used just for grass.
Yeah, I think it'd be good.
Yeah.
I should read the comments because someone's bringing it back to the space elevator, which is what we should talk about. You need to find a way to transfer energy without long power lines. Well, the idea is, and it's not set in stone. There are multiple ways in real life that it would be powered. Either a laser from the ground would power it, nuclear power. Yeah, the climber. Nuclear power. Solar power, or I have looked at up a bit more, and you can, if it's using carbon nanotubes or something of equivalent, they can be used to give power through the cable. So you could power the cable itself that is supporting it. I don't know if that would happen because obviously this is all not like the cable doesn't exist as a real thing. So the most likely is going to be probably, I don't know, nuclear. It could be solar panels. It could be part laser, then solar panels once it gets out of the Earth's atmosphere, and solar panels become more useful. But they would only be useful when the craft is in direct sunlight, and it wouldn't always be in direct sunlight, would it? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it would be.
There would be a point where I'm trying to imagine how. I don't know. I can't. I'd have to look at it on like a diagram, but I don't think
Imagine a laser.
it would be in shadow. Yeah, they power things with lasers. There was that
Just like the tether would be moving around, but yeah, I know it'll be like in a tube like fiber optics, but
well, you just aim the laser. You just aim it, and the receiving dish could also be aimed, but
you would need like a really good computer and strong enough laser to go through clouds. Maybe, I don't know.
it would just, yeah, the power requirements are what would be, because we could currently do that at the moment. You can power things via laser.
Yeah.
It's just the power requirements to go through the atmosphere, and especially if you're powering a lot. But the atmosphere isn't actually that thick. If you're going vertically, it's not that thick, so you should be okay. But yeah, well, it's just...
energy to go vertically, then
No, because if you're going horizontally, you're going through the... Wait, horizontally is like... I'm thinking about this right, yeah? Vertically is up. Yeah, so it would be less because there's less atmosphere.
but I thought they and then horizontally to go into space or into orbit because that uses less fuel. I don't know, rather than going straight up.
Yeah, but that's not... I'm talking about lasers.
Oh yeah, true. You're...
You know, the only
I was
reason
thinking rockets.
rockets go like that is to get into orbit, because they start turning to go with the spin of the Earth, so that they don't have to use as much rocket fuel. Basically, that's the reason they turn, and they have to get into an orbit, and obviously the space elevator. It would be like a static structure, even though it itself is in orbit, just in a geostationary orbit. So that's the idea on the power. We're not sure.
It's pretty crazy.
Why is there a river in the island? The river is just to slow down the water as it comes through, basically, right? Like as the river meanders. Well, it's not really a river. It's just connecting between the lagoon and the sea.
Yeah, pretty much. With with flooding and
Moonfire says, in Astergean's time, did we see a scientific golden age? You.
Things I've also wondered about, because like I feel like there probably would have been a golden age on board just the generation ship itself before they found Asteria. I don't know. Spending 3,000 years in space is a lot of time, so there probably had to be something going on. And then so they use all this newly found technologies to help build Asteria. But I'm not really sure yet. Of things that I have to think about.
And the Minecraft Mimo, I believe he doesn't have the Tides mod installed.
There's a Tides mod?
Yeah, you're behind the times. Sorry. I should have told you about it. Yeah, this was ages ago.
Use a lot of RAM or something? Performance? Cause
I don't know.
That's...
TPB? Him? You know him?
I actually want to try that. Yeah, I know him.
Yeah, there's a Tides mod. I'm not sure how much it uses.
I feel like it would use a lot.
I think it moves very slowly.
But I do definitely want to try that out because you know you gotta these islands will like flutter or whatever on
Well, if it's on the equator, the tide difference is not that much.
thought it was greater.
It's less, I think, because the highest tides in the world are. I think it's in Canada has one of the highest tides,
What the?
and also over here we have one of the highest tides. Like difference between them and
Northern Hemisphere, I guess.
I think. I mean, I could be wrong. I'm wrong on a lot of things.
Tides are in Brittany,
Brittany,
close to you.
which is where I am, near where I am.
Is your area also called Brittany, or is just that chunk of land?
That's France.
Okay.
France is called Brittany. Like it's the bit that sticks
Brittany
out.
or Brittany?
Brittany is the bit that sticks out on the left side at the top. That's Brittany, right?
That little peninsula thing.
Yeah.
The Horn of France, I guess I call. It has some crazy tides. I didn't know that.
Nope, neither did I. I guess because that is like south, you know, so it's more.
Yeah, but the moon is like. The moon's not like orbiting the south side. I don't know. It's really confusing. I have to look it up.
I mean, I think there's a reason. I don't know what the reason is, but because the moon isn't in a perfect, not in geostationary. It's not around the equator. It orbits at a slight tilt,
True.
I believe.
Perfect rotation.
And also, it has to do with, you know, like land masses and stuff. Because around the where I live, in the little gap there, just outside from in the gap, the tide is really fast. But if you go inland slightly, it's basically not moving. So it's all to do with the water getting pushed between different land masses, and it's confusing. Tides. Who needs them? They're annoying when you want to use a boat. It's the only thing. 'Cause you gotta think about the
Tell me some of
tides.
your stories, like they capsize or you sink them. I forgot what happens.
Well, I didn't do it.
Oh, your friend did.
Yeah. He hit some rocks, and we
Tide
sunk.
related or no?
Well, yeah, they would have been covered at high tide, but they were just under the surface, and we hit it with the
Dang.
what's the thing called? The thing that sticks into the water. I forgot. The centerboard. We hit him with the centerboard.
I don't know the ship terms or boat
Yeah.
terms.
The bit that goes into the sea, underneath the boat, keep it stable.
Actually makes me want to watch Titanic again. Watched Titanic in a long time. I was looking at the behind the scenes, and Titanic is pretty crazy. You know, they actually filmed it in like a giant pool that's 3 feet deep. Built a replica.
I didn't know that either.
Pretty realistic. It's crazy. You know, the ship going up and like people are sliding down the ship. And I thought that was funny because like James Cameron would be like cut, and then like some people are still sliding down and they have to like catch them. Takes a bit of time. Just planting some grass, virtual grass. Opposite of mowing the lawn in real life. That takes a lot of time too. I hate cutting grass.
Did you have a powered lawnmower? a powered lawnmower, like a sit-on one,
Oh no, not
or
those. Just the
just a
pusher
hand
ones.
one. Yeah,
Yeah.
because like ages ago we had a really old lawnmower, and I didn't even know that the push ones came with powered wheels.
Really?
Because of my old one was just, I had to push it around.
Oh dang.
And then we
That's
got a new one. I was like,
tough.
oh my god, one has powered wheels. It's so much easier.
Like,
Well, my grass isn't,
Dang.
my garden's not that big, so it's quite
Oh.
quick to cut. But the only problem is when it rains, I can't really cut it because it clogs
the
up
grass
the
gets
grass.
like gets sticky and stuff.
and it
Stuck
takes like
to the
3
blade.
times as long to do it.
The best time to cut for me is like right before a thunderstorm because that's when like a lot of overcast is happening. So I just go out there
Oh
and
yeah, I
cut
bet
it
it's
real
hot.
quick.
I bet it's so hot to cut it.
The fall is just around the corner, so now I don't have to cut the grass because the grass is just going to be growing really slowly.
It was good here because when it was so hot recently, the grass didn't grow because it was too hot. The grass
really?
was just dying, so it didn't grow at all. It was great. So I hadn't had to cut it all summer.
Too bad the grass here is not like that. If it's too hot, it still grows like crazy.
I guess it's obviously the
You have
grass
a different type of. Our grass is more like a very tough, like thick type of grass. I don't like it, but they
thick
love it.
with 2 C's. Moonfire Linux says, for the space elevator, what is your plan on the layout?
The layout. Hold on, let me finish this little. Basically, the circle area is pretty much the space elevator itself, and then this little, weirdly shaped island would be kind of like station, like just like a connection with Asteria, but we're not going to make it kind of like a trainish type of design. We're going to try to make it look like a hyperloop, I guess you could say. Because Asteria is like maybe 50 or 100 miles away. Don't really know, but transportation would have to be fast. Obviously, this is a seaport. We've also thought about putting an air platform. I mean, I guess you could say it's an airport, but it's not. It doesn't consist of runways. It's more for VTOL aircraft, and we don't know the location of that yet. We might make it right here, but I don't want to put it like in the vicinity of the space elevator itself, because like space elevator is going to be tall itself, so there's got to be some safety restrictions, the airspace around the space elevator, and also to protect the migratory birds around the island, because these barrier islands serve as natural habitats and breeding grounds for just animals. So having the VTOL aircraft far off from the main island would help. But like, as for the air platform, I don't really know. Like, since you wouldn't be making an airstrip, I'm guessing it would just be like rectangles of landing platforms, right? That's probably how it would look. Just a bunch of helicopter pads, I guess.
Yeah, I think so.
Helicopter pads.
If it's because these wouldn't be for mass transit. These would probably be for just quick travel to the space elevator. These they're not going to be used often, but they're going to be like, I guess, like helicopters. If you just imagine them like helicopters, basically. And Nassim says, did you draft this out or just go with the flow?
I normally
Like
don't
the
draft things.
terraforming.
Terraforming?
You use the terraforming, yeah. Sorry, I should have said that.
I mean, I draft stuff in the game, so like this is actually the second draft. The first draft was way too big, so I scrapped that, started all over again, and this is like the second draft, which I like much better because the landmass is smaller. Because the original one was like pretty much the size of all the tiles, the buildable tiles that the default game has. Like it would extend way out there, and I was like, this is impractical. Like, would they really dredge all that sand to build this artificial island for this? So it was way too big. So I downsized it by a lot to like just fit within the fit within the 9 squares here in the buildable space, rather than what is this, 5, so rather than the 50 squares of the buildable space, default buildable space.
Yeah. Someone said futuristic float planes. I mean, it's an idea to maybe do planes, but if we've got a actual direct connection via a train thing, it might not necessarily be a train. It may be a monorail or a hyperloop or something of that style. Would you need because the only thing I could imagine having a float plane would be for mass transit. You'd have like a big plane that could land on the sea, wouldn't require a runway. Also,
Sea float
plane.
Sea float planes.
Yeah, they don't really happen like
those more of a Coast Guard thing? I don't know.
You could have, there was like float passenger planes that have been made.
Well, thank you.
It's just not really
subscription
worth it.
Football. Welcome to the stream, Football TV.
Also, jet engines don't work well in the sea.
Jet engines?
Yeah. So you can't really you can only really use props.
Really?
I mean, I think there has been a jet engine seaplane, as far as I'm aware.
Wait, wait, I'm confused. Then how do aircraft carriers work then?
Well, yeah, because they're maintained to a higher standard than.
Oh, okay.
Like it would work, but obviously they don't land on the sea. You know what I mean? They land on a deck.
Oh, okay.
But obviously military aircraft are maintained more, and they don't actually live in the sea. They live on a deck. I don't know the names of the planes that carried passengers, but it's just I don't think it was really deemed feasible or really any good because you can only land in calm conditions and you're limited by the engine type.
Moonfire says, wouldn't it be better to have a huge tunnel going vertically from deep inside the ground and have pods that shoot up into space via rocket boost?
That actually is an idea for how to launch things into space, but I can't remember what the reason is. It's not really very useful. I think because the tube has to be so massive that it is inconceivably just so much bigger, and because it will basically have to go most of the way up out of the atmosphere, and it would have to go at a 45-degree angle. It couldn't go really vertically and also the acceleration is a big thing. It has to slowly accelerate, otherwise you kill everybody on board. Basically, because of the G-force. So it could be used as a supplies, but then even then, the craft has to be able to sustain high G, which, it just takes more money and more time. But that's as far as I'm aware. I mean, I don't know really. Just remember reading stuff.
You know more than me with that stuff.
watch some TV programs, read some stuff. You know, I haven't seen it in such a long time, so there are gaps. How do you plan to get people to your map if you don't have anything on the map apart from the elevator? Well, people will always come to the map.
Yeah.
If you just put down spawn like things, but
yeah, just even a highway connection with nothing on the map at all. There's always people driving on the highway. With how the game is, so. But to get people like to, I mean, there'll probably be some residential buildings like asset-wise, in here, but they wouldn't look like, you know, it wouldn't look like a neighborhood or something like of apartment complexes or something. It would just be integrated into the landscape to make it look like one massive structure, like a train station or a seaport hub, and then stuff like that. Just well disguised, basically. I mean, yeah, there would be like some living quarters within the space elevator, so I guess you could say it'll be like an arcology a little bit. So yeah, I guess wouldn't you say a space elevator would be like an arcology? Because like we've also thought like the space elevator would be like a tower design, and then have the cable launch like from the top of the tower, rather than, you know, from the ground itself.
Well, I guess there would be people who lived and worked here, and also it would be like a massive, I guess, airport. If you think about it, you got people coming and going. They need all the necessities for people. Like, there could be. I mean, Astergean is mainly focused on. People don't really do very much work, do they? But there will still be people needed at all stages of like the development to just keep things running. So you will need spaces for people to live, stuff like that. You need hotels for people to stay in as they wait for their go onto the space elevator. Basically, you need all the infrastructure built up around it.
Hey Seven, I always have a problem saying his name. I'll just say Seven.
Hello, Seven. This is an epic structure. You wouldn't think it needs more space? Question mark. I mean, maybe, but who knows? It doesn't need much space on the ground. I mean, and this is actually quite big amount of area.
Yeah. Let me try to put the scale here. Do I have? No, if I do, no. I have the Millennium Tower. Okay, if you guys remember the size of the Millennium Tower from Astergean, this is how small it is. That's actually pretty small. Let me look for a ploppable. I know Quad makes some really gigantic futuristic buildings. This is a pretty big tower. Yeah, that's pretty small actually. Cause I tried putting this down in Astergean and it's like huge, like for a neighborhood size, like blocks. Like it's just.
So this is massive.
Yeah. This is the Nordstrom Central Park Tower. Let me put it down and see what it looks like. That's a pretty tall building. This is like the one in New York, the really slim tower that you see in New York. That's like near Central Park, I think. I think that's it. Let's see what other buildings I have. This is another big one made by Quad Riders in his futuristic creations. This is a really huge tower, like when I put it in Astergean. Like, it just does not work with the neighborhood. Like, it's just so big. And zoomed out. I mean, it is pretty big, but like it's small enough that like the land itself is sufficient enough for a space elevator.
We're probably going to need a form of transport to get around the islands, basically, aren't we? Like
yeah. I would
form
say
of-
like maybe monorails or something.
yeah, something of that type, something like that.
Or either space elevator or not space. I mean, either monorail or pretty much, I guess. This is the vanilla space elevator. Pathetically small. Look at that.
Hey, vanilla.
There it is. Episode done. I just put down the space elevator.
We're done. Wrap it up. Neston says, but doesn't the core structure reach the exosphere? I mean, the in real life, if you're talking about a space elevator, it would reach beyond geostationary orbit. Obviously, in game, it's not going to go that high. It's going to go as high as we can do it,
Mm-hmm.
and then maybe flip it like a map, and then maybe do another map where it's the other end of this, like the space elevator. So you can just imagine they are connected. You couldn't obviously do it in game because it would just look weird. If you had them on the same map, you just put a rock in the sky, it would look a bit strange. So the anchor body will be beyond geostationary orbit.
I think it'll be in geosynchronous, right? That would be like.
It would be It would depend on the weight, I believe.
Oh.
If it's heavy enough, it can be in GEO, which is geostationary orbit. But if it's not heavy enough, I believe it needs to go out beyond it slightly.
Like way past the International Space Station.
It's way past.
Yeah.
Yes. way past.
My mind is still boggled by how big space is, like the vastness of it.
What's the quote from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? Is it let me bring it up so I don't. No. The quote is, so I don't butcher this. Space is big. You wouldn't believe how vastly, hugely, mind-bogglingly big it is. Oh no, that's not the quote. That's not the quote. What the fuck?
I actually never seen it. I mean, I've seen like clips of it, but I never seen it. So we're at 1,100 props now with just grass.
Nice.
So
Well,
I
that
guess
is
we're on
the
a good
quote.
track. Oh, that is the quote?
I thought it was different. Maybe it's different in the movie to the
okay.
book.
Oh, you read the book?
Not really.
Oh.
Oh, it is the quote, yeah. Yeah.
Let me do another water test. I'll put it like right here, I guess. Whoops. Alright. See how this goes.
Nessun, it is 35,000 kilometers, 22,000 miles to geostationary orbit.
Yeah, that's far.
Yeah, but it's not really that far.
Wait, what's closest to it? Like, I mean, I don't think the Hubble's that far, right? It's like pretty close.
The Hubble isn't that far.
What is the furthest thing we have out there that is still within Earth's orbit?
Well, it depends what you mean by Earth's orbit.
Oh,
Because
like
there are like these points.
not past the moon, I guess you could say.
Yeah, but things are still in its orbit.
Oh.
But there are points where stuff doesn't necessarily orbit the Earth in a circle, but
Uh-huh.
it tags along behind. Like it will. The way that it works is it a Langin point or something? I don't know. But it like holds behind the Earth can hold behind it an object, like as it
Oh,
circles the Earth. And also there is a point in front of the Earth in a circle. Like imagine that's how it works. But
Mm-hmm.
you can go quite far. I don't know what the furthest thing that orbits the Earth is. I don't know.
I guess the Barrier Island helped against another huge wave. It is going into this river though. Not that destructive, I guess.
And Ethan is right that space is expanding faster than the speed of light. So one day, you won't be able to see any stars in the night sky.
Hey,
at all.
Nano.
Hello, Nano. Welcome. It will be just if you look up in the sky, you will see no stars.
So that's like so
Very
far out
universe. Well, yeah. That is this far out. This wouldn't happen tomorrow.
though. Is there any period of time? Do they say that the expansion will accelerate, so eventually all stars will become red because of the redshift, or no? I don't think. I don't know.
I mean, you don't really. They're not. They would be red shifted. Most things are red shifted already.
Oh, really?
Most things, not everything, because
Interesting.
things are moving towards us still.
There's still waves coming out. Gonna test more of these Barrier Islands. See how they go. I feel like the water spawner wave is bigger than raising terrain, maybe. I don't know.
It could work, yeah. That could.
You can barely see the wave, but it's coming in. There it goes. And another victory for the Barrier Islands.
Yeah, it worked.
It's just weird how the water just slides over everything. It's so weird.
Yeah, the water physics isn't one of this game's strong points. I mean, this game doesn't have many strong points, but water is definitely not one of them.
But it was one of the marketed strong points.
I know. It's much better than most city building games, water physics, but it's like they just sort of cheated.
Yeah, that's true. I guess a lot of things in space is redshifted.
Yeah, a lot of things are. But things like the Andromeda Galaxy is not, because it is heading towards us.
How do you think, like, an advanced spacefaring... Well, assuming that they don't have the ability to, like, hyperdrive or anything, but if you're trying to expand your civilization or species, and the universe is expanding a lot, you probably never reach a new planet or something? That's kind of depressing when you think
No,
about
it would. It depends where you want to go.
Yeah, that's true.
like within your galaxy, if you can't go faster than the speed of light, you can get to your closest neighbors
Mm-hmm.
within an amount of time that you would get there.
Yeah, true.
But obviously, it would have to be generation ships that would do it, because you couldn't get there within a human lifetime.
Yeah.
Well, I believe there are. What's the closest one that they were planning to do?
I thought it was like
Starshot?
several thousand years.
Now, Starshot would do it within a human. Would get to
What's that?
the
Starship?
planet within a human lifetime.
What is that?
It would use a tiny micro satellite that they would then use lasers to power and push it
Ion
to.
engines, basically?
It wouldn't. I think it would have an engine, but they would use the laser to push the spaceship craft,
Mm-hmm.
as fast as they can. I can't remember if it was 10 or 20% the speed of light, and it would get there within 70 years, and then they would just zoom past. It wouldn't stop because it couldn't,
Yeah, there's no.
but it would get there within a human lifetime.
It's crazy.
And the plan is to send hundreds. You can't just send one, because what if it gets destroyed?
Hundreds of
It's just a tiny
self-replicating.
not self-replicating.
That'd
No.
It'd be like Transformers. That's how they're
hello.
founded, right? Oh, hello.
I got my mic to work. What did I miss the month I was away? Is this a new Astergean?
Maybe. Basically, yeah, it's a new map for the space elevator. Yeah, we decided to make it on a new map because, one, making an Asteria is super laggy, and plus there's no space on that map, so...
I just came in to say hi.
Oh, it's
It's looking
Korea.
cool. Pretty awesome, be honest.
You didn't really talk much about it after your return. Like, not on Twitter or anything.
There's very few people that actually be interested.
Oh,
Well, but yeah, it was quite a bit of fun. I don't even know where to start. How are you doing, Crumbs?
I am doing. Thank you. And you?
Suffering from a headache due to paint chemicals.
what the...
Having that paint again, I see.
That's not good.
Well,
No, it's not.
I did just want to say hi. I have class in a little bit, so
Oh, okay.
good luck with whatever you're doing. And hello, chat. See
Yeah,
ya.
nice to hear you again. See you later. What game this is? This is City Skylines.
What game is this? What game is this?
Do you believe in that theory that life is just a simulation? It's kind of a
I
crazy,
mean, if you
like,
think about it,
mind-boggling idea.
if we can, I mean, I don't know, because I don't know, but just the theory is if we can simulate a world,
Like The Sims.
imagine if we could simulate like a real full-on replica of the world down to its down to the atoms,
Uh-huh.
then that means that it could be done before and that we could be that simulation. I mean, I don't necessarily want to be living in a simulation, but if we can do it, then why can't it have been done before and then we be that simulation that has then made a simulation?
Mhm.
It could be simulations down. You could, like this, the saying, it's turtles all the way down. It's simulations all the way down. Like, there is a start off point and then they made a simulation, then the simulation makes a simulation, simulation makes a simulation
That's
of a
so
simulation.
crazy.
It could happen that way, but who knows? And we may never know. Just
It's just like, I don't know. It's just like all that data and tons and tons of terabytes, even more than terabytes. Just a few. There's just so much information being simulated on a computer. It's just mind-boggling. You need a really, really advanced computer for that.
Well, it would be a quantum computer or anything above what else we make after a quantum computer.
Yeah, true.
It couldn't be run on a
Yeah.
current computer that we have at the moment, like current supercomputer.
So does our simulation stop completely when there's no hard drive space? That'd be
I don't
pretty
know.
interesting.
Can
You'll
the
be trying to
simulation be
write
turned
something
off?
down, and like it wouldn't write down because there's no more.
I would assume that if the people were making it, there would be enough space, and they probably. But who knows?
They should just
Also,
give
the
me more
idea
space.
is if we make a simulation, and they're all these people, there are people inside the simulation. Would it then be ethical to turn the simulation off?
Wait, what?
Because, well, imagine all these people that are in the simulation that are living their lives,
Yeah.
and then you just turn it off. You've just killed billions of people.
But it's just a simulation. Just kidding.
Yeah, but what if we're just a simulation?
Or Guru is just a simulation because his name is
Yeah,
simulation.
well, exactly.
That would be a huge ethical problem.
Yeah, well, it's like having AI. When does AI become sentient of its own, like just existence? Also, animals are animals sentient? It's so hard to tell. Would we know? It's like even if we discovered aliens, would we know they were alive?
Mm-hmm.
They'd be so different to us. We don't know. We can only know what we know, which is not much.
Yeah. One of the things I liked about the podcast I heard with Neil deGrasse Tyson and James Cameron when they were talking about Pandora, how James Cameron was thinking of like the evolution of how would it be on Pandora in Avatar, and he said the basic body plan for Avatar or on Pandora would be a six-legged creature. You know how like Earth is 4 legs, like a lot of animals are like 4-legged, but over there they would have 6 legs because I guess he said like the gravity is weaker or something like that. So I don't know. It's just interesting, like how would life would be on other planets because of simple things like gravity and stuff like.
Would it even have legs?
Yeah, that's true.
There is. It's just we just don't know.
Yeah. Can a sentient slug-like creature be like us? I don't know. They wouldn't need to hold.
Well, exactly. Well, we don't know what, like, how would intelligent life look,
Yeah.
because we only know our own plan, and obviously we use tools, so we have hands. So you could assume that maybe they would have some way of grasping and manipulating the world, but they might not necessarily have hands.
True.
But I don't know. We don't know. Basically, it's the answer to that.
I like how
We have no idea.
Sci-fi things, like they always make them like telepathic. Like in a lot of sci-fi things, they would make advanced species telepathic, like in StarCraft, the Protoss.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if like would those species communicate telepathically, assuming that they have no mouth or anything to make noises from their, they don't have that traditional sense of.
I mean, it could happen, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Anything could be. It could all be different. They could just have a way of communicating that we just don't understand or can't. Like it could be. Just imagine like the simple things like it's a higher pitch that we can hear. they communicate
Oh,
via
sure.
UV light or something. But imagine that like 10 times weirder that we just don't know.
Did you ever watch Interstellar?
I did, yes.
Oh, do you think those people that helped I forgot his character name, but I know his name is well, basically the main character, like when he got picked up by the Tesseract, were those future humans?
I think the idea was that they were future humans.
Because in the wiki,
Wasn't it?
it just called them bulk beings, but they didn't really say who they were. But I think it's kind of implied that they were future humans. I think, I don't know.
I think it is.
Because I
I
think
yeah.
oh, sorry.
No, go on.
Because I think what who they were was you know how like one of the scientists, they landed on another planet, basically the girl. I think she's the one that the descendant of all the, well, not descendant, the beginner of the whole new advanced human civilization or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's where the bulk beings came from. I don't know. That's what I think, maybe. And it was interesting how, like, in the ending of the Interstellar, it made it look like they were going to war with somebody. I don't know, because they showed like scenes of like people getting into like space fighters or stuff, and even the dialogue, well, not the narration, was like preparing for something, whatever. I don't know. So, would they be fighting future humans? That would be kind of weird, but
I don't remember.
uh,
I can't. I watched it so long ago, and I think I watched it on a plane.
I kind of want to watch it again, but I also want to watch.
It was a good watch. You can watch both. And Nassim said about wouldn't less gravity mean like you'd. What was he say? Gravity would be increased as more limbs needed to support the body mass of a creature, or lesser gravity allow larger mass body masses. Yes, basically. The lesser gravity, the bigger you can go.
Yeah, true.
Also, hello, not done yet.
Hey, not done yet.
It is a new map. It is a space elevator
Indeed.
map for Astergean.
Here, let me zoom it out for you. Yep, that's pretty much it. Just mostly water and a few islands. Hey, don't judge. Welcome to the stream. And thank you for the comment about the last episode. What do you mean by that, Time Slayer? But,
I was trying to understand it as well.
oh. Yeah, it's gonna be a collaboration between Crumbs McGee and I, not done yet. So, I'm just preparing the map, obviously, for whatever we're gonna do in the episode. I just spent this time detailing the natural, just the map itself, the trees and grass and rocks. Well, I didn't put any rocks because I figure that it won't look good if you put just one rock, so you have to put like tons of them, and I don't want to like use up the prop. The grass I used were props, so I already have 1,221 props used.
What would be nice if we could have a more pebbly decal. There are some decals that are like stones, but they're not the right scale. What would be nice is like a full-on, maybe there already is and I just don't know about it, but like a quite small like a decal that you can put on the coasts that blends in a bit more, that can show like there are like pebbles here and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That would be nice, but
are we using a custom elevator?
It will be a custom-made one, yes,
Yeah,
by from procedural objects.
we're just gonna have to get really creative with this one.
Because the vanilla one is trash. It's rubbish, useless.
Yeah, with good FPS. It'll be fun building on a map that is not 5 frames per second again.
It will be soon though, so don't worry about it.
Okay, I think I don't know, like should I add rocks? Because I feel like I'm done already. Like put the trees down, grass.
I think you're done. But I feel like you should lower this land a bit
Which land?
because it's a bit high. The actual mainland.
Oh, the space elevator or the harbor?
Well, it's all about the same height, isn't it? It all looks very high, like tall.
Let
It
me,
does look extremely tall. Oops.
Let me check the height of this harbor with the tanker or whatever.
Yeah, if you had something to measure against.
Oh shoot. Wait, is that?
Is it very tall? You want one that's sitting on the water. So just if it's not sitting on the water, just move it to move it. Oh god. Yeah, that one's
Thank you for the
not
subscribe.
good.
Oh, that's. Maybe I'll use. I thought there are ships that like float.
There are, yeah. I believe that
Guess I don't
one.
have them.
If you scroll to the top, second line, yeah, that you're placing it. That one, the one you just had. It's like a.
This one, the Euro.
It's like a passenger ship.
Oh, pass.
So in the second line, it's the white one.
Okay, that's really small though. Why is my game
Yeah.
lag all of a sudden?
Probably
Oh,
because you're
because-
placing
Oh,
one
you're
down.
right. Okay, so that is really high.
So it does float, but you can just imagine how like big that is. Yeah,
These
it did
waves
look
are
high.
crazy. I gotta like keep pressing this button a million times.
That's way too high.
Okay, so let me lower this whole thing. Well, I'll do it with the roads first.
Are you from the not so United Kingdom? No. I'm not from the United Kingdom. I am British though, but I'm not from the United Kingdom. So there, work that out. People already know where I'm from, but you can try and work that out. Oh god, the lag is real.
What do you think is a good height? Like to the top, the very top of the steamer, or like where the second level is, where the
Like halfway,
chairs- halfway.
maybe like the windows, the main, like you know where the windows are, the
Which one? The
first
bottom
level of windows.
Oh,
I mean, in real life, it would be
Damn, that was
almost
super
in
low.
line with the ship, if you imagine.
yeah, but that's super low with the game because the waves
Yeah,
are like super
but,
crazy.
Yeah, so just do it like to the top of say the top of where the chairs are, and you should be fine. I reckon. I'm not
Okay.
from Ireland, no. So I believe people from Northern Ireland are in the United Kingdom.
I think. Oh, that doesn't look right. What?
You have to lower the other land down.
Yeah, but
What do you mean? What's going?
the road is basically on the water level.
That's well, you mean it's like above it? You mean? Oh wait,
That's
you
maybe
mean?
there.
No, we'll do it to the top of the chairs.
I think that's. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay.
No, I'm not from England. England is in the United Kingdom. What are you talking? I'll just say, I am from Guernsey in the Channel Islands. There you go.
How to say?
No, I'm not from Gibraltar. I've already said, but he's a bit behind.
Are they? Yeah, they're British.
Gibraltar are British, yes. They are British citizens, in fact, more than me.
That's weird.
It's not fair. I mean,
Would
I
that-
am a. But what?
Oh, will that make a weird situation with the Brexit though? Like, or not really? It wouldn't.
In Gibraltar,
Yeah.
there's already a border there.
Oh, okay.
The main thing is, obviously between Northern Ireland and Ireland.
Oh, true.
They don't want a hard border there. It's a crown dependency of the United Kingdom, but I'm not in the United Kingdom. I am in the British Isles, but not in the United Kingdom.
Channel Isles.
And we are a crown dependency owned by the crown, so it's confusing. But I am British, like I just said. I have a British passport,
You have a British accent. So
a
you
British
must be British.
accent. A very generic accent, just normal Southern
Normal.
English, I suppose.
Oh,
It's very. What do people say? It's like very. Well, just generic.
what does Hazard have? His accent.
Northern Middlesbrough
Oh,
accent. Not really that much though, compared to some people. What's the height like on the sea now? Is it look good? Is the water still
check.
like wanting to travel
Yeah,
over
it's
it?
still sloshing around. Hold on. Dang, that's really bad.
It may need to be raised again, but you just have to wait for the water to settle.
I mean, when I spamming the button, it looks pretty good right now, actually.
Spamming the button. This is so massive. I mean, people were saying this wasn't that big, but this is huge. This area. It's huge.
Gee.
Huge. So huge. This is massive. That's my Donald Trump impersonation. Oh. I am afraid I'm gonna have to go. It is time for me to leave.
Okay. I'm almost done anyway, so.
Well, I hope the rest of the stream goes well, whatever's left of it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll see you another time then.
Indeed, I'll see you later. And goodbye stream, goodbye Yuto. Bye.
See you later. Normal accent quotation. I mean, the height of this land, I don't know, maybe raised a little bit more. I'm not sure. I mean, the steamer, I guess, is a good marker for it, or like good level to be at. It just looks really low for me, like in case like a wave comes in, because the game scale is like always weird. Okay, so all that is finished, and I'm gonna start doing this part now. The space elevator land itself is like a little higher than the harbor area, so just for just because. Gonna make the brush bigger. There we go. And I'm gonna try to lower the edges off. But yeah, I think the stream-wise is almost finished, so I'm gonna go eat lunch soon. But pretty much the progress so far on this map is pretty good. You know, still debating if, I don't know, the harbor just looks so low to me. But we'll see, I guess. I have to find like a ship in the workshop to use and see the scale. As you can see, the water's already going over it. It just, I don't know. Let me try to use another ship. These ships don't really float on top of the water, but yeah. Well, I mean, I guess that is it might work actually. I don't know if the land should be the. I think the deck of a ship is like higher than the land itself, right? Jerry, the space elevator. But I'll find out later once I find a better ship to use for scale. Yeah, I'll definitely use a retaining wall around the space elevator, like the metal type of retaining wall. What am I building exactly? I am preparing the land or work area for the space elevator. The space elevator will be on the circled land right here, and this area would obviously be like a seaport area. So far, you know, I'm just doing little tweaks here in the map editor and placing some trees down. And then eventually an episode will be made on the space elevator itself. Yeah, I might raise the land a little bit later on, offline probably. But yeah, thank you for joining the stream, you guys. I'm going to go eat now. Thank you. And I'll see you guys in the next episode of Astergean. Hopefully it's the space elevator or another episode, because I do have other episodes that I want to edit and record and stuff. So, oh shoot, a thunderstorm is approaching in Florida. Okay, I'll see you guys later. Thank you for joining.